Welcome, value providing. That's 2 words this week, Tim. Value providing agents and inspectors and investors from across the country. Today is Thursday, October 14th, 2021, and this is Mastermind podcast number 349. Can't believe we've done that many.
So you're doing hyphenated words now. That's such an advanced skill set, buddy.
Well, we ran out of multisyllabic, one word. So, yeah, I figured I'd move on. Anyway, thank you, everybody, for being here today. No one in the queue yet. Just hit star 6 and hit 1, and you can be first up this week. We're always looking for our win of the week. We're looking for our idea of the week, and if you provide either of those, we'll give you some free leads. Bruce, anything you want to share before we get started?
Well,
good job, buddy.
Well done. Put me on the spot.
Always,
yeah, good job. No, I've been trying to think. I've been down in Florida meeting with Tim this week, and not to kind of deliver a cryptic message, but we do have some pretty exciting things on the horizon for you guys, specifically with regard to your marketing, to your probate leads. So just be on the lookout for some changes, really good changes over the next couple of weeks. That's kind of my announcement, which is super cryptic, but I think you guys are going to really like it.
Awesome. And I haven't even heard about it yet, so I'll be surprised along with the rest of you.
Wonder why that was.
Because I was busy actually working instead of sitting in meetings all day.
I'm sorry, you've been
or hanging out with babies.
Yeah, that too. Got a new grandkid we've been spending some time with, so it's been a lot of fun. Chuck, anything you want to share to get started? I'm putting everybody on the spot today. I think Chuck is here. I guess not. So. Tim, how about you?
Yeah, I wanted to pick up on what Bruce said. So we took a long look at pretty much everything we're doing. A big part of that was trying to back up and look at the business side of what we're doing and making sure that we looked at it more as if I'm a subscriber, what am I getting out of this? And obviously, we know we provide great leads, and we go to the ends of the earth to make sure they're the best systems that we can. But part of what we've figured is that we're not doing the right job of helping you understand the width of our system, all of the tools that are available. And we went back and took a look at the folks that have been with us the longest, and some of the people who only been with us a very short period of time and disappear into the clouds, never be heard from again. We take it seriously. We don't like it when people leave, not just because they're not making money, we're not making money, but more importantly, we're not doing our job. If someone joins us, we feel that it's our obligation to help them be successful. So actually, what Bruce talked about is really more a relook at what we're doing from a cradle to the grave kind of standpoint, from the standpoint of getting started to, looking out the first 90 days of making sure that we're doing the right job of helping you implement what's there, helping you implement a marketing program, and doing a better job of really understanding your business and making sure that we appropriately fit what we have to offer into your business and make it, if not the focus of your business, at least a solid pillar of your business with the intent of it growing into, maybe the focus of your business, because our most successful folks will tell you that it's the most dependable part of their business, the ones that have been with us the longest, and in some cases that's 5-6 years. Every single month, the evergreen tree generates sales and revenue for them. So that's a lot of what we did is deconstruction, and it's not completely finished yet. We kind of got through about 2/3 of it step by step, but we've got more to do. So, Bruce is heavily involved in doing that. We also have taken a look at our staffing with some of the other folks that we have and trying to make really sure that we've got the right people in the right places. It's a growing company. we've grown a tremendous amount in the last 2 years, and a lot of bodies in a lot of places. And a lot of our team is a very young team. So it's important that we give them a great opportunity to grow and build good careers, but we also have to make sure that we don't fall into the trap of not catering to all of our customers' needs as opposed to chasing more a bright, shining object approach. And so we kind of went back to the fundamentals of a lot of stuff that we're doing. And I think that's kind of a summary, more or less, of kind of what we've done. And I will also add one other thing. We frequently have asked for feedback from you about what we can do better. And a big part of what we base the things that we do on is what we've heard back from you and what we hear back from customer support anecdotally when they say, you know, for the fifth time, so-and-so and so-and-so are having trouble with this. We either have written software to fix it, or it's still sitting there glaring at us and we haven't done anything about it. So we're trying to pave over the rough spots as well. So I'm very excited about what's going on right now, where we're going, what we've done, and our growth is going to continue dramatically, and we've got some cool stuff to help you build other pieces of your business coming soon. And like Bruce said, we're excited about that. So that's kind of the story there. Go ahead.
Yeah, Tim. Now that I'm not a stammering, stuttering mess, you gave me the chance to clear my brain out a little bit. Everything that Tim just said, absolutely true. And to me, it kind of comes back to the reason for some of these adjustments and changes. One of the things that we're noticing in a lot of agents and investors' careers or niches, probate niches, is that folks are coming on, they're doing the bare minimum. The bare minimum because they don't know what to do, or the bare minimum because that's what they can afford. And then sometimes the bare minimum just because they just kind of lack some accountability. So we're readjusting the coaching process. We're readjusting the trainings that we offer. We're readjusting the marketing packages that we offer for those of you who have the budget to market but don't know what your letter should say and what sequence. So we're readjusting all these things so that it's more of a done-for-you process, if that's what you desire. I can't tell you how often I hear people say, Bruce or Chuck or Tim or whoever on the ATL team, would you just write our letters for us? And basically, that's kind of the approach that we're trying to set up for you guys, so that and please don't ask me to customize all your mail right now, but we're trying to set this up to where you guys can come in, you can push a button, and your marketing, your custom and unique marketing plan just rolls out for you without the setup that you've had to go through over the past several years. So this is mainly so that you guys can be more effective in your marketing without having to worry about trying to reinvent your own wheel. We have it invented for you, and we'll be able to implement it for you much quicker with much higher efficiency. Then hopefully that turns into a lot more dollars for you guys, because your conversions will, we anticipate, will go through the roof.
See, I knew if I gave you time, you'd get there.
Right.
And Jim, obviously, you know, while we're joking around about this, a lot of the things that we're dealing with are the same things that you and I talk about every week. You know, Jim's had the good fortune this week to get to spend time a little bit last week getting to know his new grandchild, and this week he's got some time to have the opportunity to spend some time with his brother and enjoy his life a little bit. So while he's doing that, we're actually banging away at it here. But we are not a company that sits on what we do and tries to, you know, sit on our laurels, and we're trying to earn everything that we have and make it better and do all of those sorts of things. So all this is because of you guys. We appreciate it, and we want to be the best there is, and we want you to feel that way and sing our praises to other people and be here a long time and enjoy this together. So that's a lot of what we're doing. Jim would probably say right now would be a good time to do the *6 and hit 1. Jim, if there isn't anybody in the queue, I'll go on, and I've got another thing I'd like to talk about if you don't have anybody yet. Did Jim die? Jim, you there?
Yeah, the queue is vacant. Hit *6 and hit 1. So go ahead, Tim.
Okay, so this one I want some feedback on. We have, over time, as a company, we have done some charitable giving. We have donated to some charities around the country and around the world, as a matter of fact. One of our founders, Chad, who a lot of you know and love, was and is a big proponent of bringing water to the world. And one of the charities we spent time and money on was Charity Water. And, as a result of what we did, we helped bring a lot of water to a lot of extremely worthy people. I personally have had an opportunity in the last 3 or 4 weeks to get more heavily involved in low-income housing. I'll give you a little background. And Jim, anytime you get people in the queue, certainly interrupt me, but I want to get this out if I can.
Sure.
Sure. I have, for a long time, I previously was involved in the Workforce Development Board in the county in which we live, and this is the Space Coast of Florida, so we have a lot of high-tech employment here, but when the space shuttle program got down, we had 7,000 people that all of a sudden had to go find new jobs in the space of about 48 months. It was a good long lead up, but they had to move real quickly to get it done. And so we focused a lot of energy on that. And the workforce board was broken up into 3 committees: high skill, high wage, mid-range, mid-comp, and then entry level. And entry level was pretty much mech jobs. Mid-range was mostly focused on people who had jobs, but were trying to ratchet themselves up in the job they had. And the high skill, high wage was fellows and gals who were, well-placed, engineering staff or technical people that had been used to making a lot of money, and surprise, surprise, their world was changing. So we did a good job with that. And I always felt good about, being part of that. What has dawned on me in the last several weeks and months is that there's an entirely, completely neglected group of people in our society that we're not doing anything at all for. Homeless people are a big problem in the county that we live in, and that comes hand in hand with drug problems and a lot of other things that go with that. Not looking to create a welfare state or anything else. What I want to do is to empower people who maybe with a little help can get off poverty, get off of where they are, and there are a bunch of components to that. First and foremost in that, in most cases, is a place to live. And if somebody's, living on a cardboard box in a sleeping bag, they're going to have a really difficult time finding a job. So we're looking at some affordable housing things that we want to get involved in. I'm trying to work with the hiring focus with people around the area to develop initiatives where, as we're handing out set-asides for taxes and things like that, we force the people who are accepting the tax breaks to also set aside some entry-level positions for high-risk employees so that they'll hire people that are unemployable otherwise. We're going to take those same people and say, if you want these jobs and you want these places to live, you're going to have to clean up. You're going to have to submit to frequent and random drug testing, and you're going to have to be a good, solid citizen to get this job done. In addition, we're going to offer, try to focus on educational things. So as a company, we're going to be focusing some time on, and particularly some money on that. But the thing I would like to get some feedback from you folks is, in your local marketplaces, are you aware of 8A housing things that are going on that are unique? 8A being the government program that will pay the mortgage for low income and subsidized housing for landlords, and also will pay repair bills if someone moves out and leaves the place in a mess. Anybody have anything that they could share on the call with successes in that kind of stuff in your market, or anything you even know about it? Are you even aware of 8A stuff? If you know anything at all, hit *6 and 1 and talk to me a minute and just kind of let me know what you know. If anybody's got anything that they're aware of that's working for them.
No.
If not,
no takers yet, Tim.
Okay.
I was also going to go ahead. Did you have something else you wanted to add?
No, go ahead and finish, and I'll go ahead and say what you're going to say, and then I'll finish up.
Yeah, I was also going to say we talked at length last call about taking a unique approach in using the probate leads to attract buyers. In this market, a lot of our agents are working both buyers and sellers, and I'm curious if anybody has tried that. Hit *6 and hit 1. If you have any challenges, issues, places you're getting stuck, that's what we're here for. Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, I was just going to say, not looking to put anybody on the spot, and if in fact you have anything at all that you could be generous enough to share with us as a company, we're going to be putting some of the money that you pay us into programs like this to help build some of those things and make the world a better place. But we'd also like to hear from you about the things that you can be our eyes and ears in your local marketplace where things are going on that are being successful. I know a few things that have happened well in local markets across the country that, I'm looking at to try to replicate with some of the things that we're doing. But if you know of things that are particularly working well or that have worked poorly so that we can sort of help avoid the pitfalls. I'm trying to work with the city of Cocoa and also with the city of Melbourne, which are two of the four largest cities in our county, and they're the ones with the largest problem with homeless and chronic unemployment. And there's a lot of low-income folks going on, so we're trying to help that project along a little bit. And again, if you have anything to talk about there, star 6 and 1, and more importantly, we're here to talk about probate and what's going on there. So star 6 and 1, and if we don't get a lot of takers, we're going to keep this call short.
All right. Well, this is what inevitably happens. With about 10 minutes to go, we'll have 6 people jump in the queue. But Tim, I think that's great. I think it's a great initiative. All of us are, that's how we make our money, by providing housing. So I think it's a great initiative to try to provide it for people who don't have it as easy as some of us and our customers. One of my original brokers used to say, as a realtor, you kind of wake up every day unemployed. I mean, you got to go out and create your own business and your own opportunities. And I was just going to throw a couple things back to Bruce and maybe turn this into a little bit of a coaching call. You guys probably know, prior to, founding this company, I was coached, and I was a real estate coach. And the thing that has just absolutely amazed me about our customers, in my prior coaching experience, if somebody signed up, paid $1,000 a month, signed up for coaching, they'd make it or they wouldn't. But once they quit, they almost never came back. That was the last we were going to see. It just amazes me with our customers how many people take a break for one of two reasons, but how many of them eventually end up coming back. And Bruce, my perception is there's 2 reasons that people take a break and come back and take a break and come back, and it takes them a while to get going. The first one is they wait too long to do anything or anything substantial. All of a sudden they've got, 100 leads a month for 3 months, and they say, I need to take a break to work the leads I already have. And the second reason is maybe they take the 100 leads, they work them for 2 months, and they say, this just doesn't work. I'm out of here. Well, the first group, may eventually come back because they realized it was a good opportunity in the first place, and they might hire an assistant, they might get their act together, they might actually start working the leads and get some results. Our experience with the second group is we have people almost daily that tell us, I tried your program 6, 8, 9 months, a year ago, and I just got 3 listings from the first letter I sent out. So, the quit too soons come back, I think, when they finally get results. And the wait too longs, either never get their act together, they're kind of typical realtors moving from one place to another, or they eventually get in a position where they're ready to actually start taking advantage of the leads. So, Bruce, I know this is like a wide open question, but in your experience with our clients, what would you tell those 2 groups, the people that just wait too long to get started and the ones that quit too soon? What would you tell them to keep that from happening?
How about instead of telling you in my experience with our clients, instead of telling you that, I just tell you in my experience as an All the Leads subscriber. I was both at a few different points over the last, I don't know how many years, 8 years, 7 years. I was both of those. There was a time that I quit too soon. I worked the probate leads for 2.5, 3 months. I had a couple of people that kind of dropped in the pipeline, but no active business. I canceled my subscription. I said, this isn't working. And then all of a sudden around that 5 or 6 month mark, I got several listings, and I said, whoa, I quit too soon. I've got to go back. And, of course, at that point, you start building the pipeline from scratch again. So that was me. And to the person that may be in that exact same boat where you're looking at it, you're saying, I'm 2 months in. How come I don't have 5 listing appointments next week? I would tell you that prospect, that list of prospects that you're working, they're just a little too soon. They're still in the grieving mode. They're still in the overwhelm mode. And yes, they need your help, but they haven't started looking for it yet. And they're going to come around. Okay. There's another big group of clients that I see, and I found myself here as well, that got super busy. You run out of time and energy to work your leads. You still believe in the probate niche, but you cancel, or you have canceled because you just don't have time. And I was there, so no judgment. But what I'm telling you is it's the same thing that we just talked about on the earlier example. Is when you do come back, you have some time. You have to start building that pipeline again. So if you have the budget to do it, and you're in the boat of maybe you just quit, or maybe you're thinking about quitting because you don't have time to work your leads, you can always take advantage of some of our extra services. You could always take advantage of ISAs and mail automation and websites, and you can take advantage of those so that we nurture and work your pipeline for you. And if you quit and you start finding yourself with a little bit of extra time on your hands and you're ready to come back in, this is an amazing niche that can produce in really incredible waves of business. On 100 leads years ago, when I was just getting started, 100 leads, I think I was averaging 110 leads. There was a month that I had 7 or 8 listings that all came in on probate all at the same time. And that doesn't happen every month, but if you work the leads, that's the number of people that you can establish communication with that will eventually turn into clients for someone. And it's your job to make sure that instead of it being someone else that they turn into a client for, that it's you that they turn into a client for, because they need help. They badly need help. You just have to be there and build the relationship while they're getting to that point.
And well said. And yeah, definitely. And if you haven't taken foundations, we can't recommend that highly enough. You can take it more than one time. It's free if you're a client. This has been the quietest group in 7 years that we've ever seen. We got a good attendance, but we have no one in the queue. So we're going to do last call for the queue. Hit *6 and hit 1. We're looking for success stories, challenges, anything you want to talk about. That's what we're here for. Bruce, I'll ask you one more question while we wait and see if anybody else jumps in. What would you say is the common denominator for the people that come in and just hit the ground running and never look back and are very successful? Is there one thing, or is there a combination of things that they do correctly that keeps them from ever getting to that point where they quit?
I don't want to sound like the typical coach here, but I got to tell you, it's just massive action. It's not worrying about the fear that you have in the back of your mind. 9 out of 10 people that I coach that are coming into the program, they say, I just don't like rejection. What do I do if this happens? What do I do if that happens? What if someone tells me that I'm an ambulance chaser? I don't know if I can make the calls. And those are the people that get into their head and they start overanalyzing and overthinking. And the same person does the same thing with their mailing campaign as well. You start, well, which letter should I send first? Which letter should I send second? Well, what if this letter comes across too aggressive, or if this one's too delicate? And the answers to all of this are, you're never going to be the perfect fit for every single person on the list. And if you're worried about having the perfect solution and the perfect fit for everyone, you're going to struggle. And if you get in your head trying to figure out how to be that perfect fit for every single individual, you're going to struggle. So there comes a point when you say, my experience be damned, my knowledge be damned. The process doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just going to do it. And you take steps and you fall on your face and you have some victories. I'm going to kind of call out. I don't know if he's on this call, but one of my coaching clients, Cameron, who we've worked together for a couple of months now, great example of someone that doesn't mind screwing up. Just going to make the calls, just going to send the letter, because he knows that each screw up gives him something to adjust so that he can be better on the next call. And that's where your success comes in. And before I go any further, Jim, I've got a message from a couple of our subscribers that are text messaging me that the the host has muted the conference. So I think we might have some people trying to get in that are receiving a muted notification. That might be why we don't have.
Run upstairs. You'll have lunch.
Whoa.
Wow, Bruce, thank you. That it was in the Q&A mode, but I went from one mode to another, and as soon as I did that, people popped into the queue. So thank you for this technology. We've never had that happen before, and we were trying to figure out. So thank you. That was the issue. For some reason, it got stuck in the muted mode.
I think you're in the co-mode.
What's that?
I said I think you're in the co-mode, as in commode.
Well, thank you, Bruce. Good catch, my friend. That was good. That was about to be our first call ever that we didn't have participation. So now, guys, we have a full queue. If you want to get in there, just hit *6 and hit 1. And first up this week is phone number ending in 5457. You're up first. And hey, guys, thank you to whoever alerted us that we had a problem. Thanks for that.
Hi. I have a question.
Go ahead.
Now that I'm in the queue, Bruce has already pointed a finger at. My question was, I have a very first mailing going out. I'm a new participant to the group, and I have conflicting information as to the first collateral. I had anticipated sending a letter based on some discussions with your office, but then in the mastery class, it was suggested that first piece of collateral be a note card. So now I know I'm splitting hairs, but just pick one and tell me, because my list comes out next week.
Well, that's ultimately the thing is we pick one. I think that the reason that we suggest a note card as being one of your first pieces of mail is because you're kind of speculating as to what the majority of people are going to be more prone or more apt to open up. If they're getting letters, like a lot of, depending on your market, a lot of probate leads, a lot of PR get a bunch of letters in that first month, because your competitors, they're not going to call. They're typically not going to send many pieces of mail. Most of them will send one piece of mail, and it's usually going to be a business envelope with a letter in it. That's typically what your competition is going to do. So we just want you to be a little different. You could send the same letter in a note card, like a greeting card envelope, which is one of the things that we do. You could make that first piece of mail be a brochure or a magazine. You just want it to stand apart a little bit. It's not so important what it says as much as it is that it just gets open, because it doesn't blend in with the other business envelopes that they're getting.
Thank you. I just that wasn't made clear to me, or I didn't understand my marketing call. So this is perfect. I feel very comfortable with that being the very first thing to go out.
Yeah, just use a note card envelope, the 6x9, and that's why we do it, so that it comes out in a note card format with the handwritten addressing, and it'll get read and opened, and then you can deliver your message.
Okay. Thank you. That was it.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Jimbo?
Next up is phone number ending in 0155. You're up next.
Hi, Bruce. I just wanted to say, this is Sheila, by the way. We got an email on Tuesday from you, and in that email, you've got a probate seller interview sheet, which I used on Tuesday and set an appointment with. It's just phenomenal. So if anyone else received that email from Bruce Tuesday morning, one of the attachments was that probate interview sheet, and I just wanted to say thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And we didn't go over that in the foundations class. The probate interview sheet is a version of a seller interview sheet that I used to have that just is kind of a cheat sheet of some of the things that you can ask while you have someone engaged in a phone conversation. A lot of times it leads to a really easy ask for an appointment. So thanks for bringing that up, Sheila. I'm glad it was useful.
Oh yeah, thank you very much.
And Sheila, that reminds me of my previous coaching career. It was drilled into us: ask 10 questions for every statement you make. But if they're good questions, you can lead them to the conclusion that you're trying to tell them. And people are much more likely to believe something they tell themselves than to have something stated by someone else. So the right series of questions is going to get them to the conclusion, and they think they came up with it on their own, which they kind of did. So thank you.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about that in a long time. I'm glad you mentioned it.
Yeah, there's a lot of good questions. I mean, it goes over the process. How long have you been in probate? Who else is involved in the decision? Is everybody agreeing? And then, who's your attorney? Have you gotten your letters of testamentary? And it just opens up, the whole. They just want to pour their whole story out to you.
Sure. And I'll bet you the answers to some of those questions, they say, what's that? I didn't know I was supposed to have that. No, I haven't done that. So all of a sudden, it's, it may go from I don't need any help to, geez, it sounds like maybe I do need some help. So that's great. Please come back and let us know when you get the listing next week, please.
Okay, definitely will.
Anything else that we can help you with?
No, I'm just listening.
All right. Thanks for sharing. We appreciate it. Thanks. All right, guys. We have 3 more in the queue. We do have room, and the queue is now open, thanks to our alert customers out there. Next up is phone number ending in 7545. You're up next.
Hey, how you guys doing? This is Richard over here, and I'm in Queens, but I'm subscribing to the Nassau County list. I got a few questions here. By the way, Jim, lay off the Jack Daniels, okay? I must have dialed *6 at least 10 times, and I'm like, what's going on? They have an issue. But anyway, I know you could take a joke, Jim. That's why I said it.
Absolutely, no problem. Thank you.
Okay, so let me shoot. So I just got my list this Tuesday. Super exciting to get started. I only made one call, just to be honest with you, and the guy tells me because the guy told me my brother-in-law got all that handled because I told him I had a concierge type of service here, and he was really nice. He was gentle, mild-tempered, and everything. So, but he said, but I didn't know where to go after that because I haven't really. So I kind of like hung up with him because he didn't want to kind of like to proceed with the phone call. Just wanted to share that with you. But as soon as I get off this call, I'm going to get right back in. Okay, so I have a few questions as far as can we that would be probably for Bruce. Can we download Foundations, the videos? I know you sent the link or
Yeah, those videos that play in I think that they play in the email, and I'm
right.
I'm 50-50 on whether those can be downloaded or not. Get with me separately if you need a download, but first go to the email and see if there's a settings button on the email that allows you to download them. I'm just not sure.
Okay, got it. Probate Mastery. How much is that? Because I was looking for info on that, and I haven't been able to something like that.
What is Mastery running now, guys? Do you all know?
So,
I think
unfortunately, I'm going to have to default that to, you'll have to go to probatemastery.com. I know that Chad was making some changes in it. I also know that Chad is having this week some family issues that he's been dealing with, so he may not be able to respond quickly. I think I can probably tell you it's running around $3.99, but I'm not sure. She had at one point been very seriously considering raising the prices and all that sort of stuff, but trying to maintain it for our subscribers. But hop on probatemastery.com and see if you can get that answered.
Okay, thank you,
yep.
Tim. Next, how many subscribers you like? I just want to know how many people I'm up with as far as in my county.
So I'll take that one and answer your question. So I don't specifically know the answer because I'm not looking at it. And I will also tell you that I'll give you our standard speech there. We make sure that everything we do, make sure that you have ample ability to be successful. More importantly, anything that we do for you, we make sure is not due by another subscriber. So, for example, if we're doing mailings for you, we make sure that what you put out is completely different from what somebody else is putting out. We'll have you select a different letter. We'll edit it differently. It will look differently. We'll use different signature on it and all of that. So we make sure that you have the ability to be successful. I can also tell you that on average, our subscriber count per county is 2 or less, because in a lot of counties we only have 1 subscriber. We're not about volume. We're about quality and trying to make sure that we do a really good job with that. So that's kind of the corporate line on that. And Bruce, you said you have an answer about something else. Go ahead.
Sure. The answer to who you're up against, as Tim said, typically it's 2 or less. Some counties are 3. Some counties are 4, but everybody's partial. It's usually so. I'm actually going to address this not from an ATL standpoint. I'm going to address this from who you're up against in probate as a whole. Okay, so we're capping the number of subscribers that can be in the county, and we're keeping that cap really low. I will tell you, and don't let this scare you, but I'm going to tell you that there probably will be another 20 or 30 people that grab probate leads somehow, some way. Some of them battle through the nightmare of going to the courthouse by themselves. Some of them might go to a competitor. So there is definitely going to be competition. I want you to think about your competition as being very one-dimensional. Your competition is going to send a business envelope out with an offer to buy a house in the first month, and then they're going to quit. You might have 3 to 5% of anyone that competes with you in your county for probate. Maybe 3 to 5% of them will stick for more than about 2 months. And if you're in it for 6 months, you're gonna have some success as long as you're kind of following the formula that we give you. It's almost impossible unless you're just absolutely terrible on the phone. And believe me, I've met a few people that are. But unless you're terrible on the phone and you don't make improvement, because that's what we coach you on. We coach you to improve on the phone. Unless that's the case, you're going to get business. It might take 5 months to start filling that pipeline up and seeing the fruit, though. So you're going to have competition. Just go ahead and get that out of the way now. You're going to have some competition, and I don't even worry about it. I train my competition. I train them. And I hope that they do everything that I teach them to do, but I know that most of them won't. And therefore, they really don't compete with me all the time. And I think that you should look at it the same way. Most people won't compete with you over the long haul.
And
Bruce, I was just going to – go ahead, Tim. Go ahead first.
I want to add 2 other things that really camp along with what Bruce said. First of all, the one thing that I would also say is the folks that Bruce is talking about, they're working with, in every case, less accurate leads, and also they're not working with a system. They're working with leads, go figure it out, do well, or, here's a letter I use that might work, have at it. we support you in every way possible. So we always try to harp on the fact that with us, you literally are subscribing to the All the Leads system. The only other thing that I would add is you're up against one really significant competitor that, we don't often talk about, and that's the person that you look at every morning in the mirror. And what I mean by that is, everything we talk about is talking about activity and action and all of that. And, your biggest competition is the one that wants you to sit down and take it easy or not take that next step and not do it. And if you simply follow through and you do take massive action and do the things that you need to go do, it doesn't matter how many people are in your marketplace, you're going to outrun them. They're going to be looking at your butt the whole time they're moving forward and wondering why this new guy all of a sudden is getting everybody's business. So it's just a matter of taking it by the horns and getting after it.
Yep. Couldn't agree more. And I was just going to add, when I had this idea 7 or 8 years ago, I started calling in South Florida, and absolutely amazed me how many people told me, I got 30, 40, 50 letters, but you're the only one that called me. And then we had another gentleman in New York City, in Manhattan. I think it was 2 years ago, to be honest with you, a year or two ago. But this subscriber of ours, and we had other subscribers there, he said he used to call people. This is New York City. I mean, the most competitive market in the country. And he said people would tell him, I got 50 letters, but you're the only one that called me. Now, I'm not going to tell you, there aren't too many markets today where there aren't at least a few other people calling. There are some, and we do still hear that. The path of least resistance, if you've got 15 competitors, like Bruce said, the path of least resistance, they're all going to be sending letters. Some of them are going to send one letter. Some are going to send 5, 4, 5, 6. Now if you're going to call, you got to find good, accurate phone numbers. So the number of people that do that are going to be less than those that send letters. And the number of people that pick up the phone and are persistent and get a hold of people are going to even be less than that. In some of our most competitive markets, what's our friend in Texas? His name escapes me right now. I should remember it. But he's been on calls, and he shared with us that how many sales he had, highly, highly competitive market in Central Texas. But he shared with us he had a huge number of sales on his 28th phone call, or his 28th attempt to call people. So regardless, it is more competitive than it used to be. But if you do it correctly, you could very much skew the odds in your favor. I hope that helps. That pep talk helps from all of us.
Yep.
Any other questions? You still there?
We lost him.
I think we lost him. All right. Next up is phone number ending in 6755. You're up next.
Yeah. Hey guys, this is Michael, Charlotte, North Carolina. I've got a couple questions here. First one is, I'm getting about a 15% pickup rate. By dial number, 15% of the people are picking up. How does that jive with numbers you guys have generated in the past?
Bruce, want me to take it? You want it?
I'll give it to you in a second, but in the past, that's low. For this market right now, that's pretty decent. Somewhere between, depending on the market area, somewhere between 8 and 20% are pretty normal nationwide. I know that's a big range. Some markets, some cities are 8%, some are 20%. I think you're fine in that ballpark.
Okay.
Yeah, and I would add the same thing, that I can tell you that pickup rates have dropped in the last 60, 90 days. They're lower than they have been. It just requires more persistence. The only other thing I would say is that you really need to consider your time that you're making the call. You have to think about the folks that you're talking to, and if you're calling them during the day in business hours, your chances of getting a hold of them are far less than you'd have if you call maybe starting around 6 o'clock, because remember, they're the personal representative, so that's not their job. Their job is whatever they do during the day, and they're going to be handling these kinds of issues in evenings and weekends, and you got a much better shot at getting hold of them then. So vary your calling times. You may even want to take a whack in an early morning time. I don't mean get them out of bed, but you may want to start real early, as early as you feel comfortable and your market will allow, but vary your call times. You get a better call pickup rate that way.
Okay. All right. Second question is, I've had success with sending a text, doing for sale by owners, doing a text right behind a call. You make a call, leave a voicemail, send a text. So are you opposed to the idea of sending a text after a call if the pickup is not made?
Sorry, guys, I put myself on mute. I like the idea of sending it. It's not something that I frequently do. Normally, if I'm going to text, it'll be after maybe 2 attempts in a week, 3 attempts in a week. I'll probably follow up with a short text. The issue with the text, the potential risk is that you show your cards. And maybe you don't want to show your cards until you've had a conversation. Benefit of a text is there are a lot of people that don't look at their voicemail and they never answer a phone, but they will respond to text. So I think that it's a piece of your marketing that you need to adopt. I probably wouldn't put it into my first or second communication. I might let it be after a month of not getting a response.
Okay. All right. The third question is this. I'm thinking about starting to do some YouTube videos just to help try to boost my social media type content. Probate, I've done some keyword searching, and probate is not a very popular keyword, meaning that people don't search probate on Google or the internet. However, estate planning is an extremely popular keyword search. So I was thinking of titling the videos "Estate Planning Tips," or starting out with the phrase "estate planning" hyphen have a probate tag after that. But stay away from the probate term. Are you opposed to that idea?
Answer is both, and here's the reason why. You're correct. You're going to get a lot more people looking at the estate planning video that you're doing if you do that. And a great idea, by the way. Kudos for going after that. We're actually moving into getting to the point of starting to provide that for subscribers on a selected basis, and that's a little bit of pre-announcement of some of the stuff we're doing. But so yes, you may get more eyeballs on it. The issue with probate is that the ones that you get are going to be much higher quality because they specifically are looking for it. And there's nothing that says you can't buy both. And you can't be looking at it for both in terms of the keywords you're looking at. So there's no reason to do necessarily one over the other. And everything you do, you ought to split test. So, try them both and see what kind of action you get off them. And if you're using those and you're landing them someplace, make sure that wherever you're landing them, you can measure the results individually. But they both have value. Probate is going to get you a higher quality of lead. You're going to get more volume on the other side, and they may not have anything to do with what you're looking at. They may be, looking at trying to get a bill made or something like that. So it's both of them.
Okay.
I think it has everything to do with what tell people to check out, Michael. I mean, I think that if just like a website, they don't always find you on SEO. And I'm a believer in SEO, but so are a lot of people. So you have competition on SEO. But if you're telling people on your social media, if you're telling your sphere, if you're telling attorneys, if you're telling the leads inside of your voicemails and your letters and your texts, if you're telling them to go check out your tips video, then they're going to go check it out. So I think you're going to drive more traffic there from your direct marketing and prospecting efforts than your SEO will. And not to say that your SEO won't, but I think you need including those and kind of make your videos be about something that's relevant to their situation where they want to go check it out.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I appreciate the feedback, guys. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. We have two more in the queue. Next up is Mr. Roger Lacey is up next, 9636. How are you, Roger? Are you there, sir? Roger Wilco. Bruce, you can hear me, right?
Yeah, we can hear you, bud. Yo, Roger. Hook up,
Roger?
buddy.
Roger, you are unmuted. He must have left the phone. All right, we have two more in the queue. Roger, hit *61 and jump back in. You've always got good stuff to share. Roger, last call. You there? All right.
Okay.
So let's move on. Next up is phone number ending in 8002. You're up next.
Hello. I have a question that doesn't have anything to do with probate, but I figured since I was on the phone with a whole lot of real estate masters, I would ask this question.
Sure.
What's a good way to find someone that may have a building with a lot of rentals in it?
A good way to find the owner of the building. Are you looking for the individual occupants of the rentals?
No, I'm looking for maybe a person that maybe have just built a building or that just purchased a building.
I would go to batch skip. So I'd pull the details somehow, probably just through your tax records, and then I would throw it in a skip tracing service like Batch or maybe PropStream. I think Batch is probably going to be a little bit better for what you're looking at.
You said Batch skip?
Yeah, Batch, BATCH skip.
Okay.
And then I think you could also be a subscriber of. I don't think it's White Pages. Trying to think of the others. I would just.
Well,
use
White
Batch
Pages for some reason they don't. White Pages they don't give you out. They don't give out numbers to LLCs and things like that. So I need some way that I can contact someone that doesn't have an LLC, and I don't have. I don't have anything to. I don't know where to search for numbers from people with maybe an LLC.
A lot
John,
of times those.
What are you looking to do with that?
I have so many people looking for rentals, and I'm trying to see if I can find one location for all of them because it's basically mostly in one town.
Okay, so you literally this is a more people in placement. You're not looking to buy or find somebody to sell.
No.
Okay, I got it. You're just trying to find a good opportunity for rental, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You may also want to look at at HotPad. HotPad, I think, will tell you if it finds a multi-unit and shows a lot of multi-unit. You can get contact numbers off of that because they're there because people are trying to rent. And HotPad will tell you that in your local market. So if you're looking for your part of Jersey within 30 miles or so, it'll help you find that.
Okay. And so Batch Skip, Property Stream, you said?
PropStream, PropStream.
And this may be an antiquated source. I used to use List Source. I don't know if that's one of the better ones or not, but
no phone numbers,
Bruce,
of course, though.
Oh, they don't give you good phone numbers. Okay, never mind. You want the phone numbers.
Okay.
So, yep.
Okay, thank you, guys. I appreciate
All right,
it.
thank you. Next up is Roger Lacey. Are you there now? Roger Wilco. Roger, are you there, sir? 9636.
I heard something.
Was that you? Yeah, was
Might
that
have been
you, Roger?
someone accent.
Yeah, I think you're in a bad cell area, my friend. Let's go on and keep trying. Next up is phone number ending in 2729. You're up next.
Gentlemen, good morning. This is Bill Janiga from Michigan.
Hey, Bill.
Bill,
what's up?
Hi. Got an odd question for you. We went to sheriff's sale this morning. It's on an estate that I've been working on, and when we saw it was coming up, it was too good to pass up. So we bought the second, knowing that there was a first. The second was $100,000. The first is $40,000, and it's right now it's 16 years old, and there's no discharge of it, and there's no collection activity on it, other than taking the quiet title action. Any suggestions? Because it appears that the mortgage company, the address that's on the mortgage it's a vacant building now, and landlord said they haven't been there in years. And there's nothing with the state of Michigan.
Just a ridiculously simple solution, which I'm sure you thought of. Did you run it by a title company? I mean, it's possible that it was paid off a long time ago and the SAT never got recorded.
Yeah, we pulled title yesterday, and they couldn't find it. And just before the auction, I got there early enough, went to the Register of Deeds, because it's a county I normally don't work in. And the young lady indicated that sometimes if they send a discharge of mortgage and it doesn't have a good legal description or a property ID, just an address that may not get recorded, it'll be sent back asking for the original library paid for the mortgage to associate it. And she says sometimes they just never bother sending them back and it just goes astray somewhere.
Yeah. And that may have really helped you get a good deal on it, because I think it's highly unlikely that it's been 15 years if it's a valid mortgage that somebody hasn't tried to foreclose on it. I mean, it's possible, but it's highly unlikely. Any suggestions?
Yeah, there's no foreclosure action.
What's that?
I'm sorry? There's no foreclosure action in title history on it. Exactly. And it's just, I mean, even if it was valid at $40,000, it'd still be a bargain. And then since the person's deceased, it'd probably be, somewhat easy to get it reduced or eliminated.
Oh, yeah.
Should I assume that you can't find a record of title insurance on the property?
No. All we have is a 2-page recorded mortgage instrument. It's not even one of the long ones.
Well, so quiet title. Admittedly, that's an area that I haven't. You have me stumped, because I've never looked at quiet title.
Well, I've done it before. It's just a lengthy process because you've got to appear before the judge and justify why you feel it's non-existent.
And did you say that you tried to contact the lender and you couldn't find them either? You couldn't find any record of the lender?
No, they're no longer registered as an LLC in the state of Michigan. The landlord that now owns the building, he's a second owner, and he says as long as he's been there the last 8 or 9 years, he goes, he's never heard of the people.
When you ran the title, did you run it through a title company or did you run it yourself?
Nope, title. Had the examiner look at it for me.
Okay. The only reason I ask, I know in Florida, if you don't foreclose on a property within, it's 10 years, I believe, either 10 or 20 years. I think it's 10. But if there's been no activity on a mortgage in a certain period of time, the title companies will just insure over it and just assume that it's not a valid lien. It's only collectible for a certain amount of time. But I'm assuming if that were the case, your title company would have told you. I'm assuming that's not the case. Okay.
Well, not yet. I mean, if push comes to shove, obviously we'll pay for the title policy. That's a given, and then worry about it down the road. But I don't think there's anything to it.
Yeah, exactly. When you sell it, just factor in another 40, and hopefully it won't cost you anything. And it gives you plenty of time to work on the quiet title. How expensive is a quiet title in your market? How long and how much will it cost you?
For the title?
Yeah, to get a quiet title, yeah.
Oh, it depends on the amount of billable hours. My guess is I could probably have it done for 6 to 8 hours. It would be the preparation of the document, the filing, and then the attorney to go down and show up once or twice.
Yeah, that may be your best bet, really. And so it's going to cost you a few $1,000s?
No, I got a pretty good billable rate. I usually pay between $200 and $300 an hour.
Oh, well, that's kind of a no-brainer then. If you could get it absolutely cleared for $1,000 or even $2,000, I think that's kind of a no-brainer. And how long does it take?
Right now, they're doing a lot of Zoom courts still, maybe 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, I would just kind of move forward, assume you bought it, and you're going to get that cleared up, and get her done before you flip it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in the meantime, we're going to try and get them to sign off redemption rights at the same time.
Good.
So either way, I mean, we won't lose, but it'd be a lot nicer to make something.
Absolutely.
Right.
Okay.
All right. Well,
thanks, guys.
That's all I've got. I have never run into one either in all the years, but I think you're on the right track. And congratulations on getting the deal. It was a probate deal, but that's how you found it?
Yep. When she died, the other thing that's really bizarre is the gentleman she's living with, or was living with till she passed away, has the same exact spelling of the last name, and yet when I talk to him, he claims there's no relationship, no second cousins, no third cousins. They just have the same name, which is really hard to buy. But the death certificate says she was widowed, and so who knows? But it'd be interesting to see down the road.
Mm-hmm. Well, Jim, I wish I had a better response for you. I've sat quietly while Jim was asking some questions, and it's mainly because that's you're going into some territory that I haven't swam in a whole lot. But it does sound to me like
I just thought I'd ask. I mean, I'm used to winding up with the weird deals, so it's a learning experience.
Let me know how that goes, because I want to have a better answer for the next person.
Thanks, guys. Have a great week.
Thanks.
Hey, Jim just sent me a quick note and said his phone died, and we're at the end of our call. We appreciate it. I can't do any justice to Jim's great sign-off that he's done every time. I'm just going to try to paraphrase, and that is that take something that you learned here, some tips, some ideas that you had, and put it into practice, and come back next week and tell us how it worked for you and share your successes, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for being with us.